What is quacking, everybody? Today I'm here to hit you with another build. The one, the only 96 gal deco, the cracking me up gun. The most annoying thing that people have been dealing with recently that is now overshadowed crab, apparently. And you know, rightfully so. Honestly, I was a little intimidated to make a build for this weapon. Because when I was looking over builds and everything, I was actually struggling. It took me an extra day to really sit down and think about what I would build for this weapon. And this weapon is just an overall powerhouse, but it's a powerhouse because it just spams Kraken and can paint really well. And obviously it's a gal, so 2 shots, but its RNG is actually terrible. This dominates on tower. The Kraken sitting on top of tower is super annoying. A lot of people have found it super annoying. It just takes tower. You can sit there and hold tower, and because Kraken cannot be killed by anything, you're sitting on there, free tower, dragging it, and basically, if you can get on tower with Kraken and clear tower with Kraken, you have about a free 7 seconds of just tower pushing. Just non-stop tower pushing. And it's also good in zones. This weapon overall is good in zones because of its paint, its wall, it can wall out, and Kraken again is super annoying. It can just push in and just, you know, gain territory in enemy ink and just be super annoying. Also, Rainmaker, solid in Rainmaker. You know, it's just Kraken. As long as it doesn't pick up the Rainmaker, it can definitely push with Rainmaker to cover Rainmaker and give it room to move, as well as clams. You can go to the enemy basket, clear things out because of Kraken. Kraken is a very strong special. And don't get me wrong, just because Kraken's super strong, that doesn't count out this weapon either. It's a gal at 2 shots, and also wall is very solid. This weapon's RNG is kind of garbage, but when you're hitting shots and the range and how annoying this weapon can be because of its painting power in range, weapon is strong. The utilization of wall, very strong, along with Kraken. Super mega strong. Alright, so for the first build I'm going to hit you with is pretty much this. This weapon strongly revolves around Kraken, and this is where I said I got very intimidated and really thought about different ways to build this weapon. For the most part, you want to build around Kraken. You're going to have your special charge up, and the special power up increases the duration of Kraken. So with this amount of special power up, you're getting basically 9 seconds. That is a full extra second, and 1 second in this game is a long time. There was a clip on Twitter that someone showed spinning around in a circle with stick versus motion. It took almost a full second to spin around 360 degrees with stick compared to motion. So 1 second is an eternity in this game. So that extra second on Kraken, super helpful. And this is the ink res. I put ink res. You can utilize whatever utilities you really want here, but I highly recommend ink resistance because when you go in with Kraken, you're going in with Kraken. You are just in there. You're going to probably be in their ink. They're going to be painting around you. So you definitely want that ink resistance so you can probably get yourself out of a sticky situation. It's unlikely depending on how well they collapse and move around the Kraken. But if you can get out of there, then ink resistance definitely helps you get out of a sticky situation. And then just some swim speed. You know, it's a normal weapon, but you know, just a little bit of swim speed to help you swim around. Nothing too crazy right there, but overall this is probably incredibly solid just for building. So you just have your Kraken, that extra second on the Kraken, and you're going in using your wall, painting. Like, this weapon is just a very objective and map focused weapon with the range and everything. It is just so insane. This is a very solid weapon, honestly. Now, if you want some intensify action, you can put some on there. I recommend it, even though you're not really going to be jumping around a lot shooting with this weapon, maybe every now and then, but definitely some intensify action because the jump drop spread is kind of insane. And at least with one main of intensify action, it reduces it significantly, but it will take a hit to your special charge, which is fine. This weapon paints a lot anyways, so if you really want to utilize that intensify action, you can, with you know, some special charge, and then swim speed still the same, ink resistance still the same, just you're losing out on some of your points of special for at least some more consistency if when you jump to shoot with this weapon. Now, if you want to invest more into Intensify Action, you can as well. Some people do invest this much Intensify Action into the weapon. It drops down to 5.7. So do with that what you will. If you want to have less RNG when you're jumping around, this is what I would do though. I would definitely put some swim speed on there so you can move around. And then also with this, you're losing out on the special charge, but with Sub Saver though, because you'll probably be going up against in people's faces with Kraken again, with that Sub Saver, if you manage to build up some sub and you're in a certain area, this helps tremendously keep your special up. So there is that as well. So you could do Special Saver just in case you're jumping around, you're like, oh, like I'm dying. Well, Special Saver for that is what I would do. Or you could also substitute it as well with Special Power Up instead of Special Saver. So if you were to swap out the Special Saver with Special Power Up, it would just be an extra 0.3 seconds. I don't think it's all that worth it. I think if you're going to build something like this, Special Saver, way more efficient than just 2 subs Special Power Up. Now, this is something that you could also run right here. 2 mains of Special Power Up. And this gives you a nice and fat 9.1 seconds on your Kraken. That is huge. And it does reduce your points of special though, unfortunately. So I'm kind of torn at which one I think is better. Like, this definitely gives you a little bit more time on Kraken, so that's also valuable, but also getting your special back might be more valuable as well. So it depends on what you value more as a player, but this is perfectly viable, and this slaps. It's the same swim speed as the first build, and you just add some ink recovery though. I was thinking Ink Saver main, which you could run on it if you want to run Ink Saver main, but I think ink recovery is a little bit better, and then you have some ink resistance as well, because obviously you're Kraken, you're going in. This weapon is just basically Kraken. It is release the Kraken, it is attack with Kraken, and it is kill with Kraken. This weapon also kills very well, and the walls very well. And these are just some of the builds that I came up with that I think are very good for this weapon, just focusing around that Kraken. Just because this weapon, you're not gonna be super aggressive until you get that Kraken with this weapon. Like, you can push in and you have a lot of painting power, but you're not gonna be sitting there like, you know, living in their base rent-free, constantly killing them, because RNG will screw you over constantly. You could though, you definitely can do it. This weapon does have good killing power with his 2-shot, but RNG does make it a little risky to do so. So yeah, these are all the builds on the screen right here, centered around mostly Kraken. Intensify Action helps mitigate some of the RNG when jumping. So overall, just very Kraken center focused, special spam focused weapon, along with some very solid killing power in the main weapon, and wall to help with skirmishes and blocking off certain areas on certain maps. Solid weapon. Very solid weapon. Unfortunately, does not fit my playstyle with how I like to play. Unfortunately, I am a tri-slosher at my heart, so there's that. But this weapon, if it just fit how I wanted to play the game a little more, I would absolutely be maining this weapon. But also, just because this weapon is from my playstyle doesn't mean I'm going to keep it on that back, in that back pocket, you know what I'm saying? So definitely overall great weapon. I hope this helps you come up with builds, you know, helps you. I was considering putting run speed as well, but run speed for the run speed stat only bumps it up a little bit. So that would be a personal preference as well. But overall, this is what I got for you. I hope this helps. I'll stay tuned for the next one, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.